and they, for like weeks, just unresponsive.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a game changer.
Fasting.
Yeah. In fact, so to tie it to part of the reason why I'm here today, it's on Fridays in this prayer challenge on Hallow, Mark Wahlberg and Chris Pratt handle the fasting portion of the challenge. So you go through this challenge 7 days a week, and on Fridays, which is the day we typically fast from meat, they get into the spirituality and the psychology of fasting, the potent spirituality of denial and what that means. And it's super powerful, man. It affects change like few things do.
Really?
Yeah.
Actor Jonathan Roumie, widely known for his iconic and powerful portrayal of Jesus in The Chosen, recently shared with Tucker Carlson how his faith has connected him with other Hollywood actors. He spoke about the spiritual journey he has embarked on alongside stars like Mark Wahlberg and Chris Pratt, and how the religious practices they have embraced, especially fasting, have drawn them closer to God. Stay with me as we dive into this conversation and uncover the deeper meaning behind this sacred practice. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and let's dive in.
You know, Jesus himself was confronted by the disciples at one point. I think they were trying to cast out these demons in their community, and it wasn't working. And they had been given the power to do that. And he comes up on them, and they basically said, well, we tried everything. We tried, cast them out in your name, and it didn't work. Why didn't it work? And he said, paraphrasing, some demons can only be cast out through prayer and fasting. And so there's an extra, it's like an extra superpower level that you get given when you commit to denying yourself the things that the body needs with the intention that you are offering something up to God.
Have you experienced that?
Yeah. I've there have been decisions that in my life that I'd really been, or not even people. I'll go even more personal. People that I prayed for that were sick, were in like a comatose state, and through prayer and fasting, remarkably on a particular day that I did this, came out of it. And they, for like weeks, just unresponsive.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a game changer.
Fasting.
Yeah. In fact, so to tie it to part of the reason why I'm here today, it's on Fridays in this prayer challenge on Hallow, Mark Wahlberg and Chris Pratt handle the fasting portion of the challenge. So you go through this challenge 7 days a week, and on Fridays, which is the day we typically fast from meat, they get into the spirituality and the psychology of fasting, but the potent spirituality of denial and what that means. And it's super powerful, man. It affects change like few things do.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's like a true fast, not eat.
Yeah. I mean, it's something that I would pray about. Like if for some people, having just bread and water is extremely difficult. Or even just like a bowl of soup or water, or like, there's the church, Catholic Church has sort of a suggested guides. So it's essentially one meal and like partial meals, not a full second meal, I believe is one meal a day. But if that's too easy for you and you're like, well, it's not, I don't feel like I'm sacrificing anything by just one meal. Like I want to go no food at all, or maybe just some water or a couple of pieces of bread, bread and water. Then that becomes your fasting. So I think it depends, but it's always something that I take to in prayer first. Lord, how do you want me to approach this fast? how can I deny myself? What do you need from me in this fast? And how can I serve you better through this fast?
It's funny, fasting is the one piece of religious observance that has pretty much disappeared in public conversations about religious observance. I mean, fasting sounds like a medieval practice.
Well, especially here in the West, you go to the Middle East, it's like, what are you talking about? Of course I'm fasting.
Where's a full month?
Yeah.
We're in it right now. Yeah, no food or water or tobacco or sex during the day, period.
Wow.
Yeah, no water. But there, it's considered like a celebration.
Yeah.
As you know. But
well, I also find like even the Middle Eastern Christians, like the Orthodox, the Coptic Orthodox, they're much more culturally rigorous when it comes to fasting. Not just meat, but no dairy. And same thing with Muslims, no dairy, I believe no meat, no dairy, no oils. Like there's a number of different levels, but the same thing with the Christians and my family. Like, wow, we don't do, like Catholics don't do the no dairy thing, but yeah, you're right. I mean, here in the West,
it does make you wonder if
you say you're fasting, people say why, then you got to explain. It's foreign.
I mean, it's all over the New Testament references to fasting.
Yeah.
And as you just said, it's not simply Christianity. It's like it was just a feature of religious observance, like from the beginning of time.
Yeah.
And it's gone. And in the mainstream, it's gone. So you wonder, like, is there a connection between like eating and spiritual awareness? Clearly, there is.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a connection between overeating and spiritual dullness? Maybe there is. And if you wake up and everyone's fat, which is true, including me from time to time, so I'm not judging. There's like a spiritual component there. No?
Yeah.
Or am I like,
well, I mean,
it's a crazy suggestion.
One of the 7 deadly sins is gluttony.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be food, but it can be. Like, how are you being gluttonous in your life? Is it, or are you hoarding things? Is it food? Like, is it just not putting any kind of boundaries on your satiety? Like, just like, you know what? And I think it's something that can fuel other sort of leeches into breaking that spiritual connection to the divine.
I mean, there's no doubt. One of the most striking things about having grown up and living in the modern West is realizing things later in life that are like glaringly obvious, and you think to yourself, like, how did I not notice that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course gluttony's bad, right? Greed is bad. Worshipping money is bad. These are all, violence is bad. These are all the things that I've realized in the last couple of years. It never occurred to me. Not one time.
Well, then you see movies. I mean, here's the power of entertainment. You see a movie like Wall Street. You got Michael Douglas, who was a superstar at that time, height of his career. Greed is good. I mean, isn't that the phrase from that movie?
Yeah, but the funny thing is, like, I'm old enough to remember when that came out, which I think was in the late 80s.
80s, yeah.
And it was used, it became political immediately, and it was like, this is what the Reagan era is like, and they're all greedy and whatever. And so, of course, I was not a liberal, so I was like, oh, shut up. But I do think that was it's been almost 40 years. That was the last time I remember anybody in the United States saying greed was bad. That was the last time. Have you ever heard anybody say that? Maybe some like far out wacko protester or something, but no one you'd ever meet.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard anybody say greed is bad since then. Have you?
No. I mean, it's but it's everywhere too. Yeah. It's everywhere. Which is maybe why you don't
eating
hear
every day till you get fat, also bad. Again, not judging. I've been greedy and I've been a glutton, so like I'm not judging, but it's bad. Like, why not say? I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just coming to these very obvious conclusions.
Well, I mean, I think luckily we have. I mean, that's what repentance is for.
Yeah.
In the Christian life, it's becoming aware of your faults and the way that you've hurt people or hurt yourself even.
Yes.
And if the body is truly a temple of the Lord, a reflection of the creation and of the Creator God, and you're hurting yourself, then it's like, it's an affront to God, which is why
Yes.
things like gluttony are sinful.
Fasting is more than just abstaining from food. It's a spiritual discipline, a way to silence the noise of the world and focus entirely on God. In the Bible, we see time and time again how fasting is linked to breakthroughs, divine guidance, and spiritual strength. Jesus himself fasted for 40 days in the wilderness before beginning his ministry in Matthew chapter 4, verse 2, showing us that true strength doesn't come from physical sustenance, but from dependence on God. He even told his disciples, "This kind can come out only by prayer and fasting," Mark chapter 9, verse 29, revealing that some battles, whether spiritual, emotional, or personal, can only be won through deep spiritual commitment. In a world filled with distractions, fasting helps us refocus on what truly matters. It's a way of saying, "Lord, I hunger for you more than anything else." When we deny ourselves, we create space for God to move in powerful ways. Jonathan Roumie and other actors have rediscovered this ancient practice, not for show, but as a way to grow closer to God. And maybe that's the challenge for us today. Are we willing to step away from the things that consume us and dedicate time to seeking Him? If this message spoke to you, don't forget to like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want to see more content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Let's continue this conversation in the comments. What are your thoughts on fasting? Have you ever tried it? I'd love to hear your experience. Until next time, may God bless you and guide you on your journey. See you in the next video.